Hey third grade, it's Mrs. Patterson, and I am so excited to talk to you guys as writers today. I know you have been working hard on editing your writing, but today, my focus for you when you write is how to assess your writing. So let's get started. Make sure you always check your narrative writing checklist. That will help you guide through everything that you need in your writing. The first one I'm going to check is called your lead. That is to make sure you have a beginning in which helps the reader know the characters and what the setting was. So let's check my writing and see if I have that. Hurry, Jessica. Mom is going to be home soon and we haven't made our beds yet, I said. Just as we both ran into our bedrooms, we heard creak. The front door was opening. That was my lead right here. This whole area is my lead. I think I did a good job. I'm going to mark yes. Did I include the characters? I did. Did I tell the setting? I did. It was in the home. I told that right here. And here's one of the names of the characters. And Mom is important in my story as well. Let's move on to transition words. Transition words will be shown throughout your whole story. It tells the reader how the time is moving. It needs to be in order, and here's some transition words you can use: little, later, or after that. You could also use the word then. You could say next. You could even say in the morning. Those are just a few. Let's see if I have that. I'm going to go back where I had my lead, and after my lead, that's where transition words will be shown. My mom wasn't even all the way in the door yet when she said, "Let's go, girls. We have practice in an hour. Jessica, start the grill, and Ashley, start making salads." I'm going to stop right there. I think I could add a transition word. I'm going to go back and reread. My mom wasn't even all the way in the door yet when she said, "Let's go, girls. We have practice in an hour." Right here, I think I could use the word then. That's an easy transition to use. After transition words, you usually put a comma. Then, Jessica, start the grill, and Ashley, start making salads. That sounds much better. This was an every night fiasco of getting dinner on before basketball practice, swim practice, hitting lessons, or Jessica's dance lessons. Coming, we both said as we threw our bed sheets on and shoved clothes and toys from the floor out of sight. Next, I could add a transition word right here because something else is about to happen. I'm going to insert it with a little caret. Next, Jessica went to the grill and I went to the kitchen to begin making salads. My mom, of course, running to her room to quickly change clothes. All of a sudden, oh good, I have a transition. All of a sudden, I look up and the grill is on fire and Jessica is nowhere to be found. Luckily, my mom knew what to do, so she put the fire out and then headed to practice. For transitions, I think I'm starting to. I don't think I'm quite yes. I need to practice that more. After you check your transitions, then you're going to go check your ending. Transition comes more in the beginning, more in the middle, and you can even have a transition at the end. Let's go to the ending. I choose the action, talk, or feeling that would make a good ending and work to write it well. I'm going to move to my ending, and I'm going to reread right here all of a sudden. All of a sudden, I look up and the grill is on fire and Jessica is nowhere to be found. Luckily, my mom knew what to do, so she kept the fire out and then headed to practice. I feel like I'm starting to get an ending, but I definitely think it's not my best ending. I think I have an idea that would be better. I'm going to go back and reread one more time. Luckily, my mom knew what to do, so she put the fire out and then headed to practice. I have it. I want my reader to raise their voice. I was so happy You know what? I'm going to say thrilled. I think that word's better. I was so thrilled that this day was over. Exclamation mark. Now let's see if it sounds better. Writers, you always have to go back and reread. Luckily, my mom knew what to do, so she put the fire out and then headed to practice. I was so thrilled that this day was over. So much better. I feel like I'm kind of like in the middle. I feel like I'm starting to do it. I'm almost there, not quite there, because I need to go back and redo that. So I think I'm in the middle of that one. Organized. I use paragraphs and skip lines to separate what happened first from what happened later in my story. Is my writing in order? Did it start from beginning to the middle? Lots in the middle. And did my writing have a good closing? Well, I know I had a good closing because I just fixed that. I felt like my writing has a good opening, and I feel like my middle did all go in order. I do have an indentation right here. I did skip lines. On every page, I remembered to do that, and I did right here as well. This part could be scooted over a tad right here. And I think like this area, luckily my mom knew, I think that kind of needs to be pushed over because that's my closing. My readers need to know my readers need to know my paper is coming almost to an end. So I think I'm starting to. I'm not quite there yet. Elaboration is always a hard one, but we're working towards it. I work to show what happened to and in my characters. Did you use a lot of good word choices? And I feel like I did. Hurry, Jessica, Mom is going to be home soon and we haven't made our beds yet, I said. Just as we both ran into our bedrooms, we heard creak. I like that. That told how the door sounded. The front door was opening. My mom wasn't even all the way in the door yet when she said, "Let's go, girls. We have practice in an hour." I knew where they were heading. They were heading to practice. Then Jessica start the grill and Ashley start making salads. I like that. I told exactly what we were all doing. This was an every night fiasco. I really elaborated. I told them that this is a hard task for this family. Of getting dinner on before basketball practice, swim practice, hitting lessons, or Jessica's dance lessons. Look how I extended. I told the reader exactly why this day was always a fiasco. This family is very busy. "Oh, coming," we both said as we threw our bed sheets on. I like that I used the word we threw our bed sheets on. And shoved clothes. We knew we were in a hurry. And toys from the floor out of sight. Next, Jessica went to the grill and I went to the kitchen to begin making salads. That elaborates what we're making. We could have said to begin making food, but now we have the detail, salads. I can imagine that in my head. My mom, of course, running to her room to quickly change clothes. All of a sudden, I look up and the grill is on fire. I knew what was on fire. The grill. It wasn't the house, it was the grill. And Jessica's nowhere to be found. Luckily, my mom knew what to do, so she put the fire out and headed to practice. I think I could add something there. The reader doesn't know how I put the fire out. Luckily, my mom knew what to do, so she put the fire out. I'm going to insert, use a carrot, with water. I elaborated right there. I'm so glad I went back and reread. And then headed to practice. I was so thrilled that this day was over. I feel like I'm really getting there. There's only one area that I felt like we could elaborate a little more. I'm going to go ahead and give myself a yes. I felt like my writing was pretty much very, very detailed. Craft. I not only told my story, but also wrote in ways that got readers to picture what was happening, and that brought my story to life. Elaboration and craft kind of go hand in hand. If you elaborated, your readers are going to be able to picture what was happening in their head. And I felt like I did that. I'm going to give myself a yes. So, my little third grade writers, Please always use your checklist. You need to assess to make your writing better, because I'm going to tell you right now, it's never perfect the first time you do it. Have fun, and today, make sure you assess those writings.